Welcome to our meditation and healing circle evening. And I have titled this one, The Throat Chakra Healing and Radical Truth. Because if an old pattern or an old way of being hasn't been staring you in the face that you have no longer doing anymore, if that hasn't happened, I would be very surprised. It is such a big turnaround in regard to crossing the timelines. And I do believe that's what's just happened. So what does that mean? That means that your life up until today and your past timelines, if you've been doing the work, which you all have, is now officially changed into now we're putting into the new foundation. So you may still be in a little bit of shock with your new that just took place and now going, oh God, right, what do I do now? You might have no idea. That is very normal. And this next couple of weeks between now and our next new moon, we are receiving the download, and we do have a little bit of downtime. So I do hope that that's true for you, Warren, if you've been busy, that you get the download, the downtime that you need to actually rest and integrate, and now start putting into place those radical changes if they haven't already happened. And yeah, if you're not living them at this moment in time. So how does that happen? That happens through you speaking your truth of whatever it is. It's like you don't have to hold anything. You don't have to be any other way, but your loving self. And sometimes love can look tough, and it can look like rage. Sometimes love can look like rage, when that's moving through. But the way in which your security has been laid, we are now resetting a new foundation. So this particular moon was a big clearing moon. Yeah. And as we know, it was those two was the once in a blue moon. But this once in a blue moon literally was once in a blue moon. We've never lived it in our life, this particular alignment, and we will never again live that in our lives in this particular alignment. So those of us that have been working with our own journeys moving forward, the timelines have shifted. You've made a decision. You're here. You're listening to this in the future. This is it. You've made that change and that decision to follow your highest path, to live your full potential. And any part of your life, like whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that is still out of alignment, you're just not going to be able to hold it and not be unwell. I think it's interesting what you've witnessed in regard to the not being well, and the navel chakra in particular. And I think we worked with the navel last time. Well, I've actually been working with that with your healing sessions as well, in the sound healing. So there's another heart chakra there. It's our connection to the universal mother. It's a connection to creation, but it also holds the DNA imprint of what we took on in our mother's wombs. So the way in which we have been attending to our own feminine aspects of ourselves, whether you're male or female, now is the time to bring those, that rising voice and that rising embodiment, through the feeling center, those gut instincts, into your everyday life. So if there's any issues in the gut, what is it that you're finding a little bit hard to digest? And I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about what in your life, you're finding hard to digest. I know for myself, whenever I'm going through emotional stuff, I put weight on and I put it on in the middle. And it's a protection. It's an emotional holding, when I hold. And then when I let go, it just shifts. We have our minds, and the way we think and the way we feel affects the way our body's behaving. So anything that's happening with your body physically in your life, look at what it is that you're holding. What is it that you're bringing resolution to through the feeling center now? And know that, there's ebbs and flows and timings, obviously, depending on what's happening in your life, that you may hold, and then you can release. So when we're going through these changes, there's like a contraction and an expansion, and a contraction and an expansion. And what's happening in the contraction, that's when the holding comes, because when we're getting these ideas and these expanded consciousness, the amount of light that we have to live in a different way, we get these little sparks of light. And then, the subconscious pattern or the subconscious thought and fear will bring the contraction back into the body again. So if we can be conscious with that, of really allowing ourselves to let go and release the tension in the body. And part of that is through using the voice, speaking what it is that you need to say, expressing whatever it is you need to feel with no apologies. We all feel. There's no right or wrong way. So we all have these own unique ways of expressing, and you know what? It's all so beautiful. And that's what's to be embraced. In society, in the world, in our jobs, in our careers, there's a certain expectation of behavior and the way to express. And some of it can be very limiting in regard to expression. And we're being invited to open up a little bit more to that radical truth and not be afraid to speak whatever it is that we need to say, with the expense of losing, like, for want of a better word, because we never really truly lose anything. It's like whatever's not for us, whatever's not for us, you want that to gracefully leave your life. Grace and ease. Always ask with grace and ease. But then there's those parts of you that you will want to bring in and hold close to you. So I do believe that it's a real time of the feminine aspects of ourselves that are rising. Our right to rest, our right to feel and lead with the heart, as opposed to the fixed ideas of the mind. So it's a real, it's a time of radical decision making for each of us within our own lives and within the relationships that we have within our lives. So all of our relationships. Now, because of the alignment that's happening too with Venus moving into moving into Cancer, at this moment in time, we're looking at family relationships, family dynamics, in particular, your core, mother and father, and what you've taken on through the imprints within that small intestine, all around that navel button where we have that umbilical cord to our mothers. So there's a change, there's a shift that's happening in regard to the authority within ourselves, and the representation of how that looks externally. Now, when there's a rising and a shift of that authority that's happening within our own selves, within our own heart, we'll always be met. So as we're aligning more and more deeply to the heart and what it is that we need and following that, there will be an external polarity running, the narrative, which is what's happening out there on the world stage. So knowing that it's okay for that to be happening out there, because there's really big changes happening inside. And I think that's the really important thing to know and to really be within yourself, is that even though things may not look a certain way externally, internally, as things change within ourselves and we stay on that path, trusting our own instincts, speaking what it is that we need into form, into reality, and learning how to master our words a little bit more and the energetics of what our words are actually saying. It's a big one. Because when we come to that place of no judgment, externally and internally, there's a room. There's a room for the expansion. The contraction comes in when there's judgment. And judgment's a part of, a fear. So know that when we contract, there'll be a fear of something. There'll be a judgment of something. And when we're feeling expanded in love, that's when we are actually expanded in a place of freedom within our hearts, to be free and to feel exactly what it is that we are feeling. All feelings are welcome. There is no good, no right, no bad, no wrong. All of it is welcomed through the experience of ourselves as a human being. And if you allow yourself that time and space that you need to be able to surrender into that, that's where this growth begins to take you into living more in the inner worlds, in the world. So living of the world, like being in the world, but not of the world. I hope I just made sense then. I came from the other way around. I spoke into my heart and then I came out the other way. So it's that time. It's that time for us to practice being in the world and not of the world, which means really watching where we're contracting and where we're allowing ourselves to expand and live what makes our hearts happy. And if our hearts are not happy, being with the sadness and holding that sadness and allowing that sadness to be, just being free flowing. And as we free flow and we allow everything, the resilience builds within that pillar of light and that acceptance, so that it just moves through without the story, without the judgment, and without the fear. So the question tonight for yourselves is, where in my life, can I be radically honest with myself about a thought or a feeling, a situation, a relationship? Where can I be really honest and accept that radical truth, as radical as it may be? you know, and looking at where is there any contraction? You know, are you feeling any contraction, or are you in the expansiveness? And that'll happen all the time depending on the thought. So the throat chakra represents our wisdom center. It's through like the mouth of God. So we have that soul connection at the back of the head there. And then we have that throat, that's like the mouth of God. So being really aware of the words that you're expressing and what you're bringing into being through that expression. So finding that balance of, you know, expressing, but being mindful of what you're bringing into being, because our words are powerful. And are you saying something that you're wanting to bring into being? Or not? Something to ponder. So I feel very strongly tonight, this is the perfect time for us to be mindful, to allow ourselves to speak what it is that we're wanting to bring into existence, and being mindful of when we contract, when we don't want to say, or because we might be afraid of losing someone or something. And when it just comes out, you just say what it is that you need to say. And just allow the cards to fall wherever they fall. And that's how the new alignments happen. That's how you meet the people you're meant to meet, and you're exactly where you need to be. And you will know. You will know whether you're closing the door or opening. So we've had a big door closing this weekend. Big door. So that's makes sense to me that, you know, you've been witnessing a lot of people with, you know, navel issues. Because when we're closing doors, when we're really radically honest with ourselves, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you see the truth of what we've been living in, because we've all been living under those veils of conditioning. And we get so used to it, we think it's normal. And it reminds me, I can't remember the full story, and I'm not really very good at telling it, but I'm going to tell it anyway, about you would have heard about the elephant. And they, you know how the elephant had the chain around its, so this little baby elephant had the chain around its foot, and it was chained to this, you know, it grew up with this chain around its foot and it couldn't move. And then someone removed the chain, but the baby elephant stayed there. It didn't realize it could move. The chain had been taken away, but it had been conditioned that it couldn't move. It couldn't see outside. It didn't even have the idea to go, oh, I wouldn't mind going off into the bush right now, or finding my family, or, you know, some other elephants to play with. The elephant's brain was conditioned to stay. Did you like that story, Maria? I can see you smiling. So true. So is there a part of you that may have been free all this time, but because of the way, you know, you've contracted in judgment of yourself and haven't explored those ideas and dreams and, you know, ways of living? You know, are you ready to let go of those judgments? You know, and those and the judgments of the limitations that we place on ourselves of, you know, the way we can and cannot experience life based on our knowing. But the invitation is to really expand and go, oh, I'd like to try some new things. I'd like to be open to that for the divine highest good of myself and all. What a blessing. What a blessing that would be to explore that. I have no idea what that is, but I am open. I'm open to explore that in different ways. So these are things that you can explore within yourself, and particularly now coming into this next new moon, you know, we've got this time, there's a lot of realizations coming of how you've lived, what you've accepted, what you are no longer accepting, and what you're closing the door on. And that's to be celebrated, because you've worked so hard at freeing yourself. Now is the time to say no more, to please that sacred self, and to hold the sacred self sovereign above anyone else's ego. It's time, if you choose. Exciting, can be scary, living on the edge. But I think we've all pretty much been living on the edge. And now we get to explore the parameters of that as well. You know, it's like letting ourselves out of the box, you know, that we may have placed ourselves in through experiences in life. You know, do you remember when you were younger and exploring life? You know, those times where everything was a possibility. You know, what about that mindset? The possibility of anything being possible. You know, in that younger mindset, we're always, you know, it's easier to make those decisions because we think, oh, we've got a lot of time. Do you know what I mean? If we muck it up, we can get back. We've got time. But then as you get older, you might be making a few more safer choices. And, you know, what are those safer choices, for want of a better word, based on? Expansion or contraction? So tonight we'll go into the channeled meditation. I have no idea where we're going to go with it, but I'm excited. And yes, I do have our beautiful Sphinx, the Eye of Horus, Saint Germain, Tourmaline. This is in the G, the pyramids of Giza. Oh, and we're going to be working with this portal here tonight as well. There's the alignment's starting to happen in regard to that gate, that lion's gate. That's starting to happen now. So being really mindful of your yeses and your nos. And allowing yourselves to follow the yes or the no. So before we go into meditation, does anyone have any questions? Are you resonating with what's come through tonight? Messages?
Yeah, I was really keen to have a deeper understanding. It did seem like quite an interesting time, so I do appreciate your insights. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so let's get settled into our meditation posture. I love you've brought with you the spirit of Uluru there. Very nice. I just saw it. It's right on your back. Actually, I will ask, did anybody notice an activation of solar plexus over the weekend? Any anxiety or nervous tension? Yep. Yep. I do believe that was like on a collective level, that was quite heightened. And as it was clearing through, which again comes back to the navel, the instincts. So tonight we have Cryon. I will do a little sound test. I have the pink aura gold, Mary Magdalene. Where we go. Cryon. We have Mary of Guadalupe. And our beautiful Sphinx. And the Sphinx, the Sphinx is one of the main portals for the feminine, the rising feminine over there in Egypt. So that authority, that feminine authority within ourselves is now being unleashed on a deeper level and healed on a deeper level. And so you may find that you're wanting to express whatever that is for you. So sitting in meditation posture, allowing yourselves to focus on your breathing. If you need to leave earlier for the meditation, please do if you find you need to leave earlier. If not, I will be going a little bit over our time. And we're going to start breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, and holding for 4, breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, and holding for 4. We're just allowing any outside sounds just to bring you deeper and your focus inward. Finding your natural rhythm, breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, and holding for 4. And with each cycle of breath, it's bringing you deeper into a place of peace within the body. Allow yourself to breathe into and expand the solar plex area, the diaphragm. Breathing in, holding, breathing out and holding. And as you breathe in for 4 and hold for 4, allow the holding of the breath to expand the higher centers. By quietening the mind, quietening the nervous system, and settling the body to be able to settle in the center. Settling in the center. And with each outward breath, you can feel the body starting to release the tension. You're starting to sit a little bit deeper into the pelvis and the coccyx bone. Bring the awareness to the breath now, imagining there's a balloon inside of the body, and the base of the balloon sits in the pelvis, the neck of the balloon in the diaphragm, and the head of the balloon in the chest. And as you breathe in, we're going to breathe in deeply for 6 counts, very slowly, very deeply. And we're going to allow the breath to release for 9 counts. So finding your rhythm with that, slowly and deeply breathing in for 6 counts, feeling the balloon in the base of the spine, the diaphragm, and the chest. Release the breath with your 9 counts. You're exhaling slowly, settling deeper into the body and expanding into relaxation. Allowing any tension held in the body to be released with the exhalation breath. underneath of your feet relax. And the tops of your feet relax. Your ankles rest and relax. The calves rest, release, relax. Imagine any tension in the calves just melting away out through the bottom of the feet. The light of the breath travels around the left and the right kneecaps. Breathing the light of the breath into the left and the right thighs, allowing any tension in the front of the thighs and the back of the thighs just to release and relax. I'm going to focus the breath, the next breath, cycle of breath, breathing in for 6 and breathing out for 9 counts around the left hip and the left hip socket. So breathing in for 6 counts, imagining the light of the breath circulating around the hip, through the hip, and just allowing that whole area on the left side of the hip, the feminine power center, just to expand with the exhalation breath. Just releasing any tension in the hips. With your next cycle of breath, breathing in for 6 and out for 9 counts, focusing on that light of the breath around the right hip. And imagine the right hip clearing with the light of the breath through the center of the hip, the back of the hip, the front of the hip, the whole hip joint, and where the hip joins the socket of the thigh bone. Just allowing the energy of the breath just to release any tension in the right side of your hip. So any old, unresolved anger or frustration or tension around survival. Allow the light of the breath just to clear that meridian around the right hip. And the next cycle of breath, breathing in for 6 and out for 9, we're going to focus on the coccyx bone and the pelvic bowl, and allowing the light of the breath just to cleanse the basic chakra of any limited survival patterns, old family traditions that may be keeping you As you breathe into the base of the spine and the base chakra, in your mind, I am loved. I am supported in life, and my life supports me. I am loved. I am safe. I am supported in life, and my life supports me. I am loved. I am safe. I am supported in life, and my life supports me. Your foundation is solid. Your foundation is light. And you can just feel yourself through the outward breath, just really surrendering. Your pelvis is slightly tilted inward and upward so that the vertebrae actually sits one on top of the other. Your spine will naturally stay upright without even trying. You're aligned, you're embodied, you're safe, you're supported, your life supports you, giving you everything it is that you need to live a life happy, healthy, and free. Your peace is protected. And that light of the breath breathes all the way up the spine with your next exhalation breath. All the way up into the throat. And imagine the light from the base of the spine meeting a beautiful golden sun in the center of your throat. And it's a gentle ray of the golden sun. And that beautiful gentle ray of that golden light holds the wisdom, a strength, and a connection to your soul. To the wisdom you've gained throughout lifetimes. Just sitting there open, gentle, free. your next breath, breathing into the center point of the mind and noticing a beautiful golden flame. Connected to the golden sun within your throat. And allow yourself just to surrender into that golden light within the third eye, cleansing the mind of the past, cleansing the mind of any past limitations where you've held your truth back or played small in your life. Appeasing a limited way of being. Allow yourself to surrender into the expansion of that golden light within the mind, letting go. Your crown chakra opens with golden light, and your inward gaze is inward and upward towards a big, beautiful golden sun at the crown of the head. Your soul chakra, the channel between your soul chakra, your third eye and your throat are in full alignment with the heart. Traveling now with your awareness to meet that beautiful golden sun in your heart. And to meet now the beautiful golden sun in the solar plexus. The beautiful golden sun in your navel. And the beautiful golden sun in your base chakra. And the beautiful golden sun at the bottom of each foot. And the beautiful golden sun 2 feet underneath your feet. Joining your earth star and all the way to meet the beautiful golden sun in the center of the earth. As above, so below. Pillar of light from the Supreme Being, the Holy Mother, the Holy Father, all the holy, holy gurus, your soul, your higher soul, connected to all the energy centers within your body, lighting all of those neural pathways of higher awareness, of greater love, of greater freedom, of greater health within your body, grounded and connected to the earth, Breathing a little bit deeper, a little bit fuller. Feeling the connection of the breath to the base of the spine. There's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do but just rest. Just be. Love. And be loved. I'm really feeling that anchoring of that energy, that beautiful light in which you are, deep into the earth. And we give thanks to our souls, our spirits, all of those helping to guide us on our way in our heart lights, protected, loved, and as one. And when you're ready, we're going to finish with your hands in prayer position. And we're going to take a deep breath in and chant Om. When you're ready, emptying the breath, breathing in deeply. May all beings be happy and free. May all beings know love. May all beings be happy, healthy and free. Om Shanti Shanti Om. Amen. Breathing in a little bit deeper, just bringing the movement back when you're ready. Stretching your body in whichever way you need to stretch your body.